And welcome to 3Questions with. Got my buddy David with us. David is a realtor. Good morning, David. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Kevin. Thank you for having me.
So, David, I have a question to start off. So, I was talking to someone the other day, and we were talking about buying a house. They're like, Kev, I really want to, but I'm just not going to do it. Competition's so fierce. I don't want to get my heart broken, getting rejected. What's the advice for them?
Step back from the whole situation and take a deep breath. Namaste. Because what those individuals are feeling is fear.
Yeah, clearly.
They have fear because of what they're seeing in the media, what they're hearing from their brother, their uncle, their sister, their neighbor, and they're getting misled. And I call it propaganda. So don't listen to it.
Yep.
My job as an agent is to tell you, have no fear, have hope, because if you work with me and an agent that knows what they're doing, we're going to get you in a house. Don't worry about the market. I'm not just a realtor. I'm an entrepreneur. So it doesn't matter whatever the market's doing. We're going to make sure we adapt and move forward. I don't care if it's a VA loan, FHA loan, conventional, cash, and we're going to turn your hope into optimism, because you're going to know at some point in the near future, you're going to be in that new house. You're going to be buying new furniture. Summer's coming. You're going to be in the pool in the backyard, having barbecues. So again, going back to what I said in the beginning, step back, Mr. and Mrs. Buyer. Take a deep breath and have no fear. There's no need for it. Just hope.
Nicely said. So the second question I have is, why should someone sign a contract with a realtor if they are a buyer or seller?
Excellent question. Excellent question. So there's a bunch of reasons, but I'm going to tell you the number one reason. When you sign a buyer agency agreement or a listing agreement with an agent like myself, Sotheby's International Realty, I am able to provide you a fiduciary obligation where you're going to get obedience, loyalty, disclosure, confidentiality, accounting, and reasonable care. When I have that fiduciary obligation, I can serve you to the highest level, put your needs and your interests first in the real estate transaction. Sure, you can buy a home without a realtor. Sure, you can sell a home without an agent. But the other agent out there who's treating you as a customer, not on a client level, because you don't have an agency agreement signed, they're going to have a smile on their face and shake your hand and take your money. You're not going to get the best deal possible. I'm here to protect you. So if you're a buyer, I'm not going to let you overpay. If you're a seller, I'm not going to let you overprice and do something silly. Get an agency agreement signed and get someone strong in your corner to look out for your best interests.
David, is buyer representation, is that something relatively new? I don't remember having a buyer rep when I bought my house 30-something years ago.
Yeah, so 30 something years ago, buyer agency actually may not have existed at the time. Back then, not to do a whole history lesson, but you had a listing agent, and then you had what was called a sub-agent. And the sub-agent is not a buyer's agent. The sub-agent was basically an extension of the listing agent.
Yep.
It caused liability. So then what happened in the 90s, essentially, early 2000s, is they said, look, someone's spending hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars on their home, second home, whatever it is, they should have representation. It's not ethical. It's not fair. It's not transparent. It's not honest if only one party, the seller, has representation. Thus, the buyer agent was born. And I would say for the last couple decades, buyer agency is very, very common. Again, do some people feel that they don't need an agent and go through the listing agent? Sure. But to be frank with you, they're not getting a good deal. Listing agent is taking them for a sucker, taking their money, and the buyer doesn't even know it.
Well, all kidding aside, I mean, if I'm the listing agent, it's my fiduciary obligation to get you the best price I can. So I can't really help both sides. It's just not logical.
Yes, there's an old adage that I love when we're talking about agency relationships between buyer and seller. You can only serve one master. And the listing agent's master, their boss, is the seller, not
Right.
an unrepresented buyer.
I mean, it makes perfect sense. So, David, what's the best way for people to reach out to you if they have questions about buying or selling a home?
I have two ways. Number one, I've got a phone. Call or text 603 520 7924, or look me up on social media from Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, David Lovlien, and I'll pop right up and you can send me a private message.
Awesome. David, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to call on the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
Thank you, Kevin.